Hello and welcome to this episode of Drinking with Dave. Now I've skipped the intro on this. If you'd like me to keep doing the intros where I do the pour, please leave a comment below, otherwise I'm going to skip doing them, just because it makes it a little easier to film. Also, the reason I skipped is because this doesn't have a regular open on it, it has one of these pull tabs. So, by the way, the beer is Utenos that I'm drinking this week. I just have the little pull tab like that, and off it comes. I got one of my longer glasses here. I'll just do the pour. Now, I was under the impression that Utenos was the name of this beer. It's actually the name of the brand of beer. And this is their lager. This is a bottle. It's a Lithuanian beer. And it is 5% alcohol. It's very small writing on it. But this is their premium lager. Utenos makes a whole bunch of different beers, and this happens to be their lager. Now, onto the review. The head was pretty much non-existent on that. I tried to aggressively pour it and it didn't really work. So, might be another bottle beer, this one. It looks well carbonated and it is very pale when held up to light. Otherwise it is very yellowy, verging on brownish, but mostly just a very, very pale beer. Carbonation looks good. I mean, there's no head to speak of here, so I think we'll just move on to the smell test. It has that plant kind of smell. Same smell that Kaiserdom had that I did in the big stein around Christmas time. It has that very, very planty smell, kind of not grass, but kind of a vegetable or a potato kind of smell. Yeah, it doesn't smell particularly sweet. It doesn't smell particularly malty either. It's just smells pale. It smells like a pale lager. Alright, let's move on to the taste. Very smooth taste. While it does look pretty carbonated, the carbonation in the mouthfeel is pretty low. Having poured it, I'm getting the impression that you're supposed to drink this out of the bottle, much like you would drink Guinness Black Lager out of the bottle. You know, it's not supposed to be poured. It's supposed to be had from the bottle. It's an interesting beer, this. That planty smell kind of carries over into the taste. It is, it seems to be very low on flavors, or rather the flavors are subtle in this. None of the flavors are particularly distinct. I'll sort of run through the checklist of stuff that I look for when I'm tasting a beer. First off, what is the characteristic of the hop? How hoppy is the beer? Is it piney like a bitter, or is it kind of sour, maybe like a Heineken, or is it like a Polish hop, or is it like a fairly non-existent American lager hop? But you know, what kind of hop does it have? And this seems to be pretty low on the hops. I mean, you can't see lacing on it obviously, but usually you see a kind of oiliness riding up the glass if you have a hoppy beer, and this seems to not have that at all. It has a kind of a whipped cream taste, which is strange. It is very pale. I mean, it seems to be a pale lager. It's marked as a premium lager, but I don't know about that. It seems pretty innocuous, this beer. There's nothing particularly flavorful about it. No distinctive flavors. It doesn't really even taste like lager. When you think of lager, you think of, you know, European lagers, and you think of Heineken and Carlsberg and Bavaria and Kaiserdom and the Polish ones and Lech and all that kind of stuff, and you think of that kind of range of hops. This doesn't seem to have much hop in it at all, if any. Well, it's bound to have some in it. Like there's you can't have a beer without hops, and this has got, you know, little hop etchings, drawings on the label, so there's hops in it, but they're a strange hop. Yeah, it just has that whipped cream thing. It's pretty smooth. It's a little gassy, this beer. Though on the mouthfeel it does feel undercarbonated, but it is pretty gassy. I don't know that there's much that I can say about this. I mean, the primary reason I bought it, to be honest with you, was this little pull tab. I was going through all the beers in the supermarket, just picking out ones to do for the show, and I saw this with the pull tab on it, and I had rarely seen it, so I just decided to pick it up. But it's pretty uninspired, this beer. It's not got a lot going for it. There's very little to detract points from, as it were, but it just doesn't seem very good. It's not that it's not high quality. The quality is there. It's just that the tastes are not. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. Just a little planty, a little bit of that whipping cream kind of taste. Yeah, would I suggest this? No, not really. It's not got a lot going for it. So, Utenos Premium Lager, I probably wouldn't, but if you're into a paler lager, if you're into something that's low on the hops and is easy enough to drink, tastes a little like Coors, you know, Coors Light. It tastes a little bit like Coors Light. So, if you like Coors Light, you might like this, but other than that, not much I can tell you. Well, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time on Drinkin' with Dave.